Hey guys, it's day 2 out of 30 of the 30-day Raw Talk series. So at 7 a.m. today, hopped on a call with Jeremy Haynes. Jeremy Haynes is another marketer in this space. He's been in the space much longer than me, and he's older than me. So we were talking about the Andromeda update. We were talking about some creatives like scripting as well. So I do want to show, and also like personal life too. So I do want to showcase some information about that call earlier. Have calls with him every 2 weeks. He's a really good person to talk to. I would highly recommend checking Jeremy out. So let's talk about the personal, so you guys can get to know me a bit. So I'm a marketer. I've worked with a lot of big names in this space behind the scenes. I started as a freelancer, a media buyer back then. I'd work with people in their agencies. That's how I got started in the space. That's how I learned quite a bit of things. I work with really huge people, different agencies, different types of like funnels, from VSL funnels to webinar funnels to like ad agencies as well, learning the back end there. I don't want to name drop any names. I want to give them a lot of respect. So the same upbringing, what I experienced, Jeremy experienced as well. He like without name dropping any names for Jeremy, he worked with a lot of huge people. And when he first started out, so roughly around the same age as me, when he was like 21, 22, he would say he worked with XYZ, like really big names, like hundreds of millions of dollars. So whenever he would leverage their name, it would give him a lot of authority in the space. However, using that too much, even in a positive way, would just benefit him way more than it would benefit his clients when they would leverage his name. And that's what I experienced as well, especially starting my own offer. That's a personal problem I've faced because I've worked with these people for quite some time, and a lot of them have become really good friends. But when I created this offer, I was leveraging their names, like, hey, I worked with XYZ. But it became to the point where I was running my own ads and I was spending way more money on my own ads, mentioning them in my video, where they would get a lot of messages about me rather than their business. Then it became a problem. Then they were like reaching out. It's like, hey, Gian, could you kindly, turn this ad off and kindly not mention my name? You did very good for this company, but kindly not mention it because we're getting more information about you than for our offer, and it's impacting their business. So that's what I experienced. So that's kind of like a bottleneck. It's more of like a short-term win when you're like trying to leverage other people's authority, but it's just not a good thing. That's what I've learned personally, and that's what I am, experiencing. I just want to do better. And also Jeremy as well. He experienced that when he started out when he was like 21, 22. I'm 25. So it's good that you're working with like really big people, but it's not good if you try to like used your name way too much. So, but it was pretty heartfelt to feel like he understood how I felt. He understood kind of like the internal struggles, especially when you like work with like really big names. Try not to leverage their names as you can. That's what I learned. But it was kind of cool how we shared kind of like similar experiences. But okay, so that was more like personal. Now let's talk about the call where we talked about creatives. So talked about a lot of creatives, and I do want to showcase some things. We'll talk about my creatives, what I've learned from my data, running my own ads. I'm currently running a VSL call funnel. So we went through some of my creatives, and we went through some of like new creative ideas, creative scripting for the Andromeda updates from Facebook/Meta. So for my creatives, 2 to 3 weeks ago, I was experiencing some bottlenecks for my ads. They were scaling pretty quick. I mean, that was like, some of those ads scaled me up from $0 to $173,000 per month in ads in 29 days, which is crazy. That's amazing. But ads do fatigue, so you always need to create new creatives, especially if you're spending more money. The more money you're spending on ads, the more creatives that you got to really push out. And today, like 2 days ago, I filmed 75 creatives. Today, I filmed 20 creatives, and they're all in the pipeline. So you just got to film so much more ads. If you're trying to spend as much money as possible, you got to push more creatives out. Right now, I was spending from $200 all the way up, and then push it up to $2,500. Then for the last 2 weeks, I was averaging roughly around $1,500, $1.6,000. Now I'm just averaging $1,000. So I had to descale my ads because I just need more creatives. They're all in creative production. So creatives. So one of the bottlenecks that we did see was an oversight. For me, I'm a marketer. So when I'm overseeing a lot of my clients' ads, it's very black and white for me. It's so clear. However, when it comes to my ads, it may look like how I perceive things will look completely different. So when I got Jeremy's opinion on my ads, and then he was reviewing it from an outside perspective, it was extra clear. It was quite cool to see. Quite cool to see. Where I saw like where the bottleneck was, where it was like it's like no wonder that was a huge bottleneck when it comes to like lead quality. That was I talked about it yesterday's video on like the hook that I used, and it was attracting lower quality people. But yeah, it was quite insightful. So just the next step was just you create more creatives. So scripted out new creatives, 20 creatives, but more for a higher ICP, and understanding that for true scale, it's not cost per book call, it's cost per qualified book call. It doesn't matter if your cost per book call is $60, if your cost per qualified book call is like 1,000. You got to make sure your cost per qualified book call is in the main metric you actually look for, especially for like a VSL call funnel. So instead of using a hook where I was using like, fast money, like 9K PIF, the new videos were just pain points. It was talking about, a specific ICP and a specific problem, and then bridging the gap of how we can solve their problem. That's basically it. Those were just the new scripts that we crafted up. And they're all in production, and I'm excited to push them through next few days. So that's going to help some bottlenecks. So that's what I'm currently experiencing in business. Personal life, that's all good. All good terms with everybody there. I don't want to leverage anybody's crazy names, especially if they're like a big guy in this space. It's really nice that I've worked with them, but I got to go in got to make a name for myself rather than just have them as like a shoulder to lean on. Really great people. I would recommend you check out all of my clients out. They all specialize in their own thing, and they're all very, very lovely people. That's what I'm currently experiencing in my business, what I'm currently working on. Not only that, I'm currently I've hired a CSM. So I have a call with that CSM in 1 hour from now. Just exactly 1 hour from now. Reason why? I'm in Japan. He is going to be managing a lot of the communications while I'm asleep. So, when I'm asleep for 6 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours, just to make sure my clients have 24/7 communication. Not only that, like all my clients will be working closely with me one-to-one, but I just want to make sure they get extra communication. They don't have to wait for me on anything. But that's not going to change anything when it comes to business, how clients are going to work very, very closely. I'm the one actually going to be executing and also just creating a strategy behind their marketing campaigns. But I do need someone for them to converse with while I'm asleep, just to make sure speed of execution is much, much faster. So that's quite exciting. I'll be hiring my first CSM for this offer. So my team consists of my partner, Josh. My partner, Josh, is he handles everything outside of marketing, which is great. From taking all like the partnership calls, I have 2 people on the setting team, so they can manage the conversations with a lot of prospects, but I'm also on the DMs as well. So I send a lot of selfie videos to people, a lot of voice notes to people as well. So 2 setters, 1 partner, more of like he handles all the partnership calls. So 3, and then myself, so 4, and then 1 CSM. Margins are still pretty healthy. We're keeping it above 50%, even at above $100,000 per month, which is pretty good. Last month the margins were I broke down the math live on my Instagram. Last month generated like 173, and then margins was at 113,000, which is pretty good. Take home which is cool because like my personal life is pretty low maintenance. Sometimes, once every month or once every 2 months, we do fine dining. We did fine dining on Saturday, but it's pretty cheap. I eat at the convenience store. Groceries are pretty cheap. I don't buy any crazy watches like every week, or like I take the train, I take public transportation, I walk to places. So my living standards are quite cheap. I don't rent any crazy cars. But yeah, that's what's currently happening in business. There's really not much to talk about. It's just had a call with Jeremy, hiring CSM to manage the communication while I'm asleep. Clients are all good. We had a client, his name's Adam. So we launched ads a few days ago, and we're only spending $100 to $200 per day for Adam. It's a VSL call funnel, a VSL type form funnel. And he locked his first 5K PIF. It was like, I think it was like 6 days of ads running, 100 to 200 bucks, and then he got a 5K PIF. So very, very happy, especially for it's like a quick one. Joey, yesterday, 10K PIF. Adam, I'll get permission from him if I can use his like full name, or I can use his screenshots and like that. I want to give him some privacy, but 5K PIF, very, very happy for Adam. He's freaking crushing it with those new ads. For these clients like Joey and Adam, like spend is quite small. Like for clients that are spending $100,000 per month on ads, yeah, let's give them a bit more privacy. Until we can like double or triple their MRR within the next 30 days, then I'll request like a testimonial from them. But I really want to make sure their data is quite secret, because they're going to be big names in this space. Yeah, I want to make sure they're taken care of. So I'm not going to mention any of the big guys who are spending 100 or who are generating 100, 200, $300,000 per month on ads yet, until I have their approval and until we double or triple their MRR, which should be in the next 30 to 60 days. So it'll be quite exciting. So for small accounts, I'll share it freely on the account. But yeah, anyways, that's it on my end. I have a few calls for today. And that's it. That's going to be a short video. Anyways, much love and talk soon. Bye.